Good morning. You know, when you're by yourself all the time, you rarely talk. Unless I'm singing at the top of my lungs. I'm really not talking much. Sometimes, you know, I'll talk to somebody at a ship or a receiver, or on the phone to my dispatch. But most of the time I don't talk. Anyways, I've only been up for a little while. It's Friday. I think it's July 27th or 26th. 27th? I think it's 27th. I had a friend of mine, Amy, asked me if I was okay because I haven't made a video in a while. So I thought I'd make one. Yes, I'm still drinking coffee in a straw. It's very hot, so you still have to kind of sip. And if you don't know how hot it is, don't take it into the inside of your mouth. Bring it right here to the front. Because I've burned the inside of my tongue before. So, I took some home time. I was at a point, I'd been in the truck for a month, and I was just at a point where everything was irritating me. And I needed to get out of the truck for a little while, so I had to get my license, the address on my license changed, because it didn't match on my employee records, and they were telling me if I didn't get it changed, they were going to suspend me. So I went and got it changed, and then I just, you know, did laundry and some other things. Worked on getting a different GPS, which I'm still having problems with, but I just need a SD card for it, which I wish I had known because I had SD cards at home. And then I went and spent 2 days at Stacy's house, and that was amazing. It was nice to just pretty much do nothing and get some home-cooked meals. Thank you, Stacy. I love you. Next month, I'm going to see my new grandbaby. And that's all I have to say about that. So I've been back on the road for, well, tomorrow will make a week. And I've been, I don't even remember where I've been. Hang on. Y'all must really love me. Oh, I went to Amazon in Chattanooga and picked up a load and took that to the terminal in Mississippi. And then from there I went to Monroe, Louisiana, which is only 2 hours away. I had no idea. And took that to Jacksonville, Florida. That was heavy as fuck. What was it? I don't remember. And then everything's been heavy because I've had to scale it. So Monroe, Louisiana. I don't remember. And then I had a load that went from Jacksonville to Brundage, Alabama. That one was heavy as well. Had to scale that one. Got that one there, and they didn't have a load for me. So I was like, look, I need to keep rolling. So they got me a load going from Decatur, Alabama to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. It's 839 miles and 230 empty, so it's over 1,000 miles. But I'm still sitting here a day later. Let me tell you the story. So, it says that I'm going to go pick up at Del Monte Foods. And I'm thinking it's going to be, you know, canned fruit. No. So I get to the address that my GPS sends me to, and the sign says Smucker, like Smucker jelly or foods or whatever. So, and I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't right. So I drive around looking for the correct place, and there's nothing. There's nothing else around there except for this Smucker Foods place. So in our orders, we have a number where we can call shipping and receiving. So I call, and it's like Big Heart Foods. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is this Del Monte? Is this Smucker? Is this... And Big Heart Foods is, by the way, they make pet food. Dog food, cat food. And at the Smucker plant, it said Meow Mix. They make Meow Mix. So I was like, okay. So I called this Big Heart Foods, and they give directions basically to right where I was. So I go back and I go in, and they have me back up to dock number 12. I get all backed in. They call me on my phone and tell me that they can't accept my trailer because it has metal shavings in it. They take this pet food pretty seriously. They don't want metal shavings, you know, bouncing up, and I don't know. Maybe it'll cut open the bags of food, or maybe they're afraid it'll get mixed in somehow with the food. I mean, I wouldn't want it to serve it to my dog or cat if it had metal shavings in it. So I really can't blame them. But it was frustrating for me because we don't mess with the trailers. I'm a driver. I'm not a trailer cleaner outer. So anyways, they tell me they can't take the trailer metal shavings. So my dispatch says, call breakdown and find out where you can get it washed out. So I am on my way to a truck stop because I couldn't sit at the shipper, and I had to go someplace where I could sit and make phone calls, and the nearest place was like 5 miles away. There was a Pilot truck stop. So I'm in the process of driving to the Pilot, and dispatch is telling me, you know, go get it washed out. Well, in the meantime, they call me again and they say, don't go get it washed out because then it'll be wet inside and we won't accept the wet trailer, and it'll take a couple hours for you to get it dried out. I'm like, oh, great. She said, they told me to tell you that it wasn't bad, and that if you wanted to, you could see about sweeping it out and come back and have it re-inspected. So I'm like, okay, you know, at this point in time, I'm not making a penny, not a dime. So I'm like, okay. So I go to the Pilot and I find a place where it's backed up to weeds and whatnot. And I actually have a push broom because whoever had this truck before me left it. So I swept out that 53-foot trailer. And let me tell you, it is like 95 degrees in the middle of the day in Alabama. I still stink. But that's for later. Yes, it was hot and sweaty, but I swept it out, and I went over it twice to make sure that all of the metal shavings were gone. Then I drive back 10 minutes, back there. They look inside it, and they're like, nope, we still can't take it because there's metal shavings down inside the walls where you can't reach them with the broom. and they will bounce up while you're driving into the dog food, and we don't. Dog food and metal shavings don't mix. Fudge monkeys! That's for any underage people watching this. Which I know there aren't any, so. So, I let my dispatch know. So they're like, hang on, let us find an empty. So the closest empty they found was in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Which, according to my GPS, was about an hour and a half away. So an hour and a half to go get it, an hour and a half to come back. That's 3 hours. I've already spent 2 sweeping it out. Well, not 2 sweeping it. I spent about an hour sweeping it out, but altogether, I was there at noon, and when I come back, it was 2. So with traffic and everything that was going on, I'm looking at least 5 hours of zero pay. So I told my fleet manager, I said, I'm gonna have to have some extra pay for this. He's like, don't worry. I got my 3rd fleet manager since I started with this company. Since I started solo, which has been, what, maybe 2 months at the most? Anyways, he used to be dispatch on the weekends, so he knows what it's like. My last one was an idiot, and I didn't like him. And, he still had pimples, and the ink on his diploma was not dry yet. His high school diploma. But guess what? After I told him off, he left to go to another company. So, anyways, where was I? I don't remember where I was. Where was I, guys? Oh, so he tells me that he'll get me. My fleet manager says, "Don't worry, I got you." He offered me $100, which of course I'm going to take. And Stacy's all like, "You got $100 bill," and I'm like, "Listen, I could have made 500 miles. I mean, I could have made almost $200 today, but I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm just, Anyways, I'm just going to get off that subject because it comes up into one that I want to cover in a different video. So, I drive out to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, to a North American lighting company. I find the trailer, and my truck needs to regen. It actually needed to regen on my way out there, and I thought that it might get covered on the way out, but no. So I had to sit and regen my truck, which took almost 45 minutes. And then drive back to Decatur, Alabama, to Smucker Dog Food Company. I don't know what the freak it is. I should look at that's what I should do. I'm rambling, I'm sorry. I haven't had enough coffee. But listen, so I got back to the company at 8 o'clock last night. I had almost 4 hours left on my clock to drive. It took them until 10:30 to finish loading my truck. So by the time I left there, I had 2 hours or a little less to drive. And My GPS took me up sort of more rural routing. So I'm at this little broke down truck stop called Gear Jammers in Hollywood, Alabama. I mean, I always wanted to go to Hollywood, but I thought I would go to California, you know? That kind of stuff. Let me look real quick. This is a bill of lading. This is what they give you. It tells you what's in your trailer, how much it weighs, how many pieces there are, the bill of lading number, the seal number, the shipper address, the ship to address, and let's see what it says. It's just a bunch of numbers. So here's a description of what I'm carrying. MM 3.15 pound KTN SMLBG 4 count. Figure that out. I have 1,092 of those. And then I have MM 13.5 pound TC BSTD BTS chicken tuna. 2,100 of those. Meow Mix? MM must be Meow Mix. Meow Mix 3.5 pound kitten small bag 4 count. That's the first one. Meow Mix 13.5 pounds TC. TC BSTD BTS and then chicken tuna. Anyways, yeah, I'm carrying 43,705 pounds of cat food. Yeah.